cases she filed on you?
She filed a police complaint of dowry harassment. Then she also filed a domestic violence case in the court. So these two cases to begin with. And 5 years later, she filed a divorce as well.
If I give you a chance to remarry that same person again, would you do it?
I don't think so, because there's a lot of bad blood that has already happened. She started abusing my mother. My mother was a cancer patient, and I was like, where did that come from?
How long will you fight this?
I don't know. I think when the verdict came in 2025, I think for 5 minutes I just closed my eyes and I was like, these 11 years that I had given proving my innocence, they were not true. Yes.
How much she asked?
44 lakhs.
44 lakhs?
Yeah.
Paid for something
It's
which
there,
you haven't
it's
done.
written in the judgment as well. Later, she got pregnant. She said, I want to abort. And I was like, why do you want to abort? She said that I still haven't gotten a property.
What?
I was missing my child too much. After a few days, I got a call from another police station saying that there's a complaint filed against you, that you could send explosives to your child or you could make an attempt to kidnap your child.
What?
First time when you read such a complaint against you, you start shaking.
So legally that day you became a criminal?
Yes. Yeah.
You're not tired?
No, I think my thing is that I'm not able to decide on that.
I really feel proud of you. It takes a lot to become Sukhi. वो जो आप इतने साल केस लड़े हो यार, 11 साल. You've given all your life. So introduction मैं दे देता हूँ कि सुखी इज़ माई वेरी गुड फ्रेंड. हम लोग बहुत साल पहले मिले थे. कॉन्फिडर एक ग्रुप ज्वाइन किया था जो मेंस राइट एक्टिविज्म का ग्रुप होता था. जब मैं मैरिटल इशू से गुजर रहा था, उसी टाइम पे सुखी भी अपने मैरिटल इशू से गुजर रहे थे. तो वी जॉइंड द ग्रुप. दैट हेल्प्ड अस अ लॉट. तो सुखी की एक अपनी कहानी है. उनके मैरिटल जो भी उनकी शादीशुदा जीवन रही है उसकी कहानी है. तो हम लोग उसके बारे में बात करेंगे. अभी इतना साल हो गया है, सुखी इज़ नॉट रेडी टू गो देयर, बट मैं वो धक्का मार के जाओ, बताओ अपनी कहानी सुनाओ कि चलो ठीक है.
Yeah. As much as I can.
Yeah. Do you remember your marriage date?
Yes.
Oh, चलो
Of
याद.
course.
What was it?
It was 22nd of February 2009.
2009.
Yeah.
Was it a love marriage or
It was
arranged?
an arranged marriage, a proper arranged marriage through a newspaper advertisement.
Newspaper advertisements.
Yeah.
Okay. Punjab, right? Which
Yes,
place?
Chandigarh. So, there was a newspaper advertisement which my sister read. She was studying in Chandigarh University. So she saw that advertisement, and it was an advertisement for a girl who was based in Delhi. So my
Okay.
wife was from Delhi. So then she passed on that advertisement to my father, and then my father called up the number, and that's how the conversation started.
So it was her advertisement.
Yes.
What was written? Do you remember?
Yeah, so it was written the general stuff, slim, beautiful girl, 5 feet, whatever, the height, earning so and so amount, her education qualification, interested matches can contact so and so number. The usual, typical matrimonial advertisement.
उस टाइम पे वेबसाइट्स नहीं होते थे क्या?
The Shadi.com
Shadi.com
and all?
type and-
Yes, there were, but
This was
I never created a profile there, neither my
Okay.
parents. I think we were searching through all these different channels. So there used to be the newspaper advertisements, and then the typical other way that some relatives telling you about a potential match in some family. So those were there. So yeah, I mean, never created an online profile or anything. Probably
Good.
times were very different, in
right.
2009.
So you got married. शादी
Yeah.
हो गई आपकी. फिर क्या हुआ, मतलब वो how things started?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges with arranged marriage is that you just don't know the person at all when you're getting married to them. Right? So you don't know their likes, dislikes, their habits, their temperament, their general approach towards life. Right? So it's only after marriage that you realize, oh my God, what have I married into,
कभी मिले नहीं शादी के पहले?
Well, we did, right? So, but then what are you doing basically? You're just spending some time with each other during your
Formality
courtship,
था.
right? So courtship was just about 3 months. And then in those 3 months, you're meeting a few times with with the person. How much can you figure out about the person in those 3 months when you're just having these nice catch ups where you're saying all the good things about the other person. You probably haven't seen them in a difficult situation or probably in a difficult time. Just kind of talking with them at a very superficial level, of course. There are things that they're telling about themselves to you, which you find very fascinating, because it's a new relationship that's starting. But then, and you don't even have that sense as well in your 20s that you can really understand the person in a few meetings. So, yeah, you just kind of go with the flow. Plus, in the arranged marriage setup, you have a lot of family involvement as well. So, the amount of meetings that you have to have with your partner is again something which probably your parents will keep a tab on both sides. Right. And then mostly we'll be talking about the big day, how it's going to be done, what all things need to be done, the usual thing which happens in Indian marriages.
तो फिर आंखें कब खुली, सच्चाई का पता कब चला?
Honeymoon.
हनीमून के दिन?
Oh, yes. The first week when we were on the honeymoon.
Okay.
So, because that was the time when you were spending with each other, right?
Very closely.
And you were staying with each other. That's when your differences start coming out. And you start realizing, okay, this person has something else as well, which probably you never saw during your courtship and you never even imagined.
Was it a fight?
Not a fight, but something like, some sort of a disagreement, right? Which had upset her mood. I felt that I didn't say anything really, really wrong. And then, that was the first shock that you got about the person.
So you didn't know this कि ये वाला side भी इसका है?
Yeah.
Side in the sense, was it an anger issue? So क्या
Not exactly an anger issue, but somebody getting upset on a very small thing.
trivial thing पे
Yeah.
छोटी जा.
Which you would feel that, okay, probably, just
So
a
you
small thing
ignored it
that you have
basically
said.
that time. You ignored it like it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have to
Red
ignore and
flag
move
आया
forward,
but
of course.
you
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But then again क्या हुआ, ये loop में हुआ, कैसे हुआ?
No, so I mean, it just got sorted, right? Because you're just starting a relationship. So initially, the things just get sorted very easily. But then over a period of time, as you get to understand the person a little more, you understand their habits a little more, their general attitude as well, things which can annoy them, right? Things which probably for you they are very normal things, but for them probably they don't really resonate. Now it's not that it's their fault; it's just the kind of person they are, right? And you are a kind of a person who's probably thinking about a certain thing in a manner that this is not a big deal, but for the other person probably it's a very big deal. So it's just different perspectives between the two individuals. And that was the aspect which typically you miss out during your courtship, right? Because you just don't understand each other's perspectives about the small
Yeah.
things which matter
You
later in
want
your
to
life.
you see what you want to see actually during courtship.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you don't go that deep,
Yeah. So what, like your marriage did not go well, right?
Yeah, I mean, the issue started very early. And now when I look back, I do realize that it was always about the perspectives, So two different individuals, two different perspectives about small things. There's no way you can find a solution to those things unless you are really willing to work on those issues. And in your 20s, you don't understand things so well. You don't understand that you have to work together on things to make a relationship work. No, you're very impulsive in that age.
So do you feel now that sort out किया जा सकता था?
Well, now I feel that I would have handled it in a much better way, right? Because with age, you also start appreciating the other person's perspective, right? And then you also appreciate that nobody can think and act in the same way as you would act or think in a particular situation. That's
Well,
very normal, right? So it's going to
yeah,
happen between you and
but
me as well, right?
But then there is a point where things cross to a toxic level,
Yes.
where there is no logic, where there is nothing. You just
Yeah.
have to get out of it.
Yeah.
आप कभी ऐसा आपको लगा आपकी शादी में?
Yes, yes. So I think when the things started going downhill, and when I go back and try to check or introspect as to what were the reasons why things started going downhill, so there were certain triggers which would just throw you off.
एग्जाम्पल दीजिए.
So for example, somebody talking to you in a very complaining manner, right? You just cannot take it. I mean, I as an individual just cannot take it. Somebody constantly complaining to you about you, right? Or somebody who's talking to you in a very disrespectful manner.
Trying to put you down.
Yes. Now, you may have individuals who are really calm and they can take that kind of behavior as well, but somehow I could never take it, and that thing was the major issue, between me and my wife.
Was she ever violent?
No,
Physically and
not
verbally?
physically.
Not physically.
No.
Do you
But then there were intense moments, crazy moments, right? But not to the point that she was trying to harm me.
okay. So then what? Okay, what about
So it was like you just shouting on top of your voice,
you both?
Yeah.
You both
Yeah,
to each other.
because it's like you just reciprocate the energy, if I may put it that way, right? So somebody shouting at you, you are probably not a kind of person who can take that. So you would go back and shout back at them. And then it just goes out of control. And a very messy situation to happen in a household.
Would you? Okay, I see a man who is trying to. I see a mature man who is trying to go back to his past and trying to understand that what went wrong, and saying that this could have been fixed or could have been handled in a better way. If I give you a chance to remarry that same person again, would you do it?
I don't think so, because there's a lot of bad blood that has already happened, It has already gone into the relationship. And that's mainly because when you take the relationship out of your own household and make it public by going
Boundaries of respect was violated.
to the police and
Okay.
the lawyers and all those things.
Okay, I want to talk about it more. What happened? पुलिस वाली बात क्यों हुई और कब हुआ?
So it was about an year into the marriage, an year and a quarter, almost 15 months into the marriage. So I think the things were not very sorted anyway between us. There were used to be constant
किस मुद्दे पे
fights.
झगड़ा होता था, मतलब ज़्यादातर क्या टॉपिक क्या होता था?
I just couldn't figure out, at all. छोटी छोटी सी चीज़ें,
मतलब पता ही नहीं चलता था
पता ही
कि
नहीं चलता था कि क्यों झगड़ा
तुनक
हो रहा है.
मिजाजी बोलेंगे इसको कि
कुछ भी
सामने
कह
वाला.
सकते हो यार.
ओके, दैट्स अ वेरी. पता ही नहीं है जब कि भाई झगड़ा किस बात का, सामने वाला गुस्सा किस बात पे हो जाएगा. सो वाज इट लाइक आपको पता ही नहीं था कि मैं क्या बोलूँ मुंह से वो गुस्सा हो जाए?
कुछ नहीं पता चलता था.
कुछ नहीं पता चला था.
So you were very careful while talking to the person, because you just don't know कौन सी चीज़
क्या
बुरी लग
ट्रिगर
सकती
करेगा
है.
उसको? ओके.
And then well, the family interventions ruin things, right? So there were family interventions on both sides, which probably is also one of the reasons why things started going downhill.
आप लोगों ने कभी बिफोर फैमिली इंटरवेंशन स्टार्टेड कभी बैठ के बात की, सॉर्ट आउट करने की कोशिश की कि ये क्या हो रहा है हमारे साथ?
We never had a matured conversation.
ओके, जस्ट फाइट्स.
Just fights. And that's what I'm saying, right? So if probably I were to deal with that situation now, the approach would have been very different.
बट सामने वाला हैज़ टू रेसिप्रोकेट, राइट? उसकी लेवल
Yeah,
ऑफ मैच्योरिटी भी वैसी होनी चाहिए.
absolutely, yeah. And the thing is that somebody has to make a start. So if she would have made a start, I don't know whether I would have been in that mindset that I can talk, in a matured manner and try to resolve the issue. If I would have started the conversation, maybe she wouldn't have been in that mindset as well. So किसी ने इनिशिएट नहीं किया और किसी ने रेसिप्रोकेट नहीं किया.
झगड़ा जब होता था, लेट से आप पे चिल्लाइए, झगड़ा किया, आप दोनों ने चिल्लाया एक दूसरे पे, आपका पीस ऑफ माइंड ऑब्वियसली नहीं रहता होगा.
Yeah.
राइट. आप वेंट आउट कैसे करते थे? काम डाउन कैसे होते थे?
Staying silent.
एट होम ओनली?
Yeah. So you just cut down the conversation with the other person because you just don't know how to talk to them. The
कभी
moment you say something, probably there's something else which is going to come your way. So you are fearing that backlash. And since it's like happening over and over, right? I don't know, it's probably a general tendency of men that they go into a shell, they stop talking.
विच अगेन ज़्यादा ट्रिगर करता होगा कि
Yeah.
वाई दिस पर्सन
The
इज
other
नॉट
person will get
रिस्पॉन्डिंग.
triggered, of course, yes. So it's very traumatic for the other person as well if they are like staying with somebody and the one person is just silent. Well, it's not that she was trying to talk, right? So she was silent as well. But two people staying with each other, absolutely silent, that's not a very healthy kind of a setup that you are in.
You stop
It's very stressful.
talking to her for how long? Or
Probably a week sometimes, maybe 10 days as well at max.
so that was the only coping
Oh,
mechanism for you.
yeah.
हैव यू एवर फील दैट यार ऑफिस में बैठे हैं और वीकेंड से डर लगता था क्या कि वीकेंड सारा घर में रहना पड़ेगा 2 दिन?
Oh,
बिकॉज आई नो लॉट ऑफ मेन को ऑफिस इज अ सेवियर कि घर नहीं
yeah.
जाना पड़े.
Yeah. They start working late nights as well to avoid going back home because it's not a happy place for them, right? Why would you want to go to an unhappy place? Would avoid it.
आप भी ओवर टाइम कर रहे थे?
No, so I was not doing that, right? So I was still sticking to my work schedule. I was still sticking to some of the other activities that I was doing, mainly around the physical fitness and all. But then yes, when you enter the house, not a
You
very
don't feel
happy
good.
feeling, yeah, because it's all silent. The other individual is silent. You are absolutely silent. You're doing your bit. She's doing her bit. Not talking to each other at all.
Why police came?
Yeah. So I think there was an office get together that I was called to, and it was one of the projects that I was leading, which got facilitated by our CEO. So there was a party thrown by the department, so all of us went, and then a couple of days later I had to leave for UK, and it was an official visit. So I went to the event. Over there, there was I mean the usual stuff. So people were drinking and having food. It was a nice place. I got a call from my wife around 11 o'clock saying that by what time will you be back? I told her that it's going to take a little while. And then it just so happened that one of the girls in my team, she slipped and, she twisted her wrist. So there was a hospital nearby. So I had to take her to the hospital. And there were some other colleagues as well with me who had taken her to the hospital. Over there, they just put her through the X-ray and they just diagnosed a hairline fracture in her wrist. So, and I was getting constant calls from my wife. When are you coming? Right. So when I was in the hospital, I again got a call from her. She said, "Where are you?" I said, "I am in the hospital." She said, "Why are you in the hospital?" I told her that there's a girl who just slipped and she, injured herself. So she's part of my team. So I'm just brought her to the hospital. And there are other colleagues as well with me. And then, she said a very shocking thing to me that I always knew that you were out partying with girls. And that was something which was, uh,
You're not
building up
expecting.
in her mind for
अच्छा.
I don't know how long. And I did not expect that. That was the first time I realized that she had those kind of thoughts as well. That I was probably, going around with
Cheating on her.
women. Yeah. Not exactly cheating, but going around with women. Right. So I don't know whether she was thinking at that level that I was cheating. But then that was a real shocker for me. And then I think she then called her father as well. So I got a call from her father. So he was also trying to check, where are you, which hospital? And I did not like that. Somebody trying to check your whereabouts, where are you? Right. Um, But then I had to reply. Right? So I did tell him that so and so hospital is where I am. There is somebody who got injured. Right? So we're just kind of attending to her. So after completing all that stuff, I went back home. When I went back home, she was not at home. And I was just trying to think as to why is she not there at home, you know. But then I somehow just went to my room and I slept. So I just slept there, and so she was just trying to pack her bags. Now, the bag that she was using, that bag was something which I was supposed to take to the UK. So I had to pack my stuff in that bag. So I just took the bag from her. I went to my room. I locked myself. I just told her that you pack your bags. You want to go, please go. But just leave this bag with me because I need this bag in 2 days. And she started, banging the door. I did not open. Then her father came up, right? We were living on the third floor, so her father was actually waiting for her. So he came up. Um, Now that is when I started understanding the story. So when I came back home and she was not there at home, her father had potentially come to my place. He had picked her up and they both went to the hospital to check whether I was actually saying the truth or not. So they were just checking the veracity of the incident. And when I came, so they were not there, right? And then, they would have probably come back. I was sleeping inside. She started packing her bag. Then I picked up and I just took the bag from her, closed myself in the room, and then she called up her father. Then he came and he started banging the door. I opened the door, and then she said, "I want my bag." I just threw the bag. I said, "Yeah, you want to take it? Please take it." And then she started abusing my mother. And I was like, where did that come from? And what role does my mother have to play in what is happening right now? I just could not take that. Right. So I started shouting back as well at her. And then she called up the police. Before calling the police, actually, she called up my mother. She said that I'm giving your son to the police now. And my mother was a cancer patient. And so she had undergone a cancer surgery just 2 months after my marriage. And this incident happened about a year and a quarter, probably about 15 months into the marriage. So she was still recovering, because your cancer treatment, it takes a long time. It's not only the surgery, then you have, your radiotherapies, your chemotherapies, all that. So, and it just kind of continue. In fact, it's still continuing. It's been, what, about 17 years now. So that treatment is still continuing. But anyway, so she called up my mother and she said, I'm going to give your son to the police. And then she called the police. Right? And then she said that, he's like hitting me and all those kind of things. And then,
Did you hit her?
no, I did not hit her. So it was a verbal altercation mostly. Right? So she called the police. Then I got a call from the police station. Right? And then this fellow, he said that you have to come to the police station. I said, fine. I went to the police station. She, in the interim, she had packed her bag and she had left. Apparently, she had left for her home. Actually, she was a resident of Delhi. So I was living in Delhi. She was also living in Delhi. So her father was taking her back home. So, uh, yeah, so I was called to the police station. Then the police guy, he also called her father that you also come to the police station. And the police station, the ask you, what do you want to do? They don't care what you've been going through. They said, what do you want to do? Do you want to file a formal complaint or do you just want to settle the matter? She said, I want to settle the matter. I don't want to pursue it. That happened and then she left. So she left in 2010. Right? And then for 2 years we were separated. So in these 2 years, the usual way of reconciling is, when the family members from either
Both side,
side,
yeah.
they will
Social way
try,
of
yeah, they'll try to first have a dialogue and then have family meetings and all that kind of stuff will happen, right? So So all that went on for almost a year and a half. Then one fine day I got to know that, and there were family meetings as well, by the way, right? So there were exchange of calls between the elders in the family. There was one family meeting as well, which could not lead to a solution. And then after about a year and a half into the separation, I got a call from the police station saying that there's a formal complaint that has been filed against you. So then I went to, I called up my father. I just told him that this is what has happened. So my father,
What was the complaint?
the usual domestic violence, dowry harassment complaint.
But
And that I got to know later, right? So when I got when I got the call from the police station, the call was just telling me that, or the caller just told me that
you were not staying with your wife since 1.5 years.
no,
And
we
how
get
did you
separated.
commit domestic violence? Why? Police
About the
don't ask these
past
questions.
incident,
Acha, based
right?
on before
Yeah,
that.
based on the 1 year or 15 months of stay together,
Okay.
right? So the complaint was all based on that, and then there were certain allegations around what has been happening in these 1.5 year of separation as well, in the sense that my family was trying to call her family and asking for a divorce, ending the relationship.
Okay. That was also an allegation
That was also
that
an
she was being
allegation.
forced
Yeah,
for divorce.
yeah,
Okay.
she was being threatened of divorce. Uh, my maternal uncle calling her, some of my other relatives
ये पूरा
calling her. So
समाज ही
all they were named as well.
प्रताड़ित कर रहा है तो
Huh.
but then two cases she's put, right? Domestic violence
That
sense.
happened much later,
Okay.
right? तो वो
This is
पहला जो
just a
complaint
diary
हुआ था,
entry.
हाँ, yeah, so
Like,
yeah, it was still a formal complaint,
okay.
right? Handwritten complaint. तो उस कंप्लेंट के बाद मेरे को पुलिस स्टेशन में बुलाया, right? उससे पहले मैंने डैड को कॉल किया, डैड गॉट इन टच विद सम लॉयर. द लॉयर and I spoke. He said, you just go there and try to get a copy of the complaint. I said, okay. So I went to the police station. The police inspector, he said, well, this is the complaint that has been filed against you. I went through the complaint, all sorts of false allegations, right, of abuse, of harassment, of marpeat, whatever. So the first time when you read such a complaint against you, you start shaking because you've never seen a complaint filed against you in any of the police stations ever. As a family, you've never been exposed to a police process before. And now there's a formal complaint in which there are all sorts of allegations, which on the face of it, you know that you have never done these kind of things which have been alleged against you.
Are these criminal complaints?
That was a criminal complaint, yes.
So legally that day you became a criminal.
Yes. Yeah.
What was your family reaction? Were there also that time
They were also shocked, of course.
in the police station? They were there with you.
No. So they were in Chandigarh. I belong to Chandigarh. And this was all happening in Delhi. Right.
Okay, and you did not do anything, and then you became a criminal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. With that 3-page complaint. And not
Okay.
only me, my entire family and the relatives who were trying to have a dialogue, with her family.
Did what this? Okay. Did you try to convince police that this is a false complaint?
I did speak to the inspector, and on the face of it, he knew that it was a false complaint.
Okay.
They know the genuinity of cases, whenever a complainant comes to them.
Verbally, they did this.
Absolutely, they are aware. So when I spoke to the police person, so he was decent fellow, right? So he asked me to explain my version of the story. I told him that this is what has been going on since last 3 years now, 1.5 year of separation and probably a 15-month stay together. And he immediately knew that this is a false complaint. Right? But then he still had to pursue it. So he then called my
Both
family,
parties.
and he called her family as well. And then he said that both the families should talk to each other. So now the process went outside of the household and it became public. So it was a panchayat being held in a police station.
Well, that during that time, what was your mental situation? Did you still have hopes for your marriage?
Yeah, so I think while this meeting happened, right? When the families were sitting together in the police station, the inspector told both me and her to go out and or go into a separate room and talk to each other. Probably that was the first time when she and I spoke about the issues between us.
In a matured way.
Yeah, in a matured way, or probably you can say that she started expressing her side of story in a very vulnerable kind of a way. And then I realized the kind of pain that she has gone through. And I was immediately taken to that zone that I need to reconcile and probably pull her out from, the pain that she's been going through in the last, whatever, 3 years or so. So that was my genuine intent.
What was the pain?
Well, the pain of her separating from her husband, of course.
Did you understand that
Yes,
moment?
yes. Because I had separated from my wife as well, right? And no matter how much fights you have, but there's still love between you, right? You still like each other. You're attracted to each other. There are moments that you have shared with each other. You cannot just let go of those moments.
Okay.
So, and she was part of those moments, right? So those moments were there in her mind as well. So, but she was very expressive in explaining as to that this is what I have gone through. And I immediately kind of felt her pain. And then I immediately made a decision that I need to reconcile it. We need to give it another shot, basically. Now, this was a pure, genuine intent from my side. But then, when that meeting ended, so post that, the families went back, and this police inspector, he started basically, asking us to spend more time with each other and talk to each other, right? So he was just trying to make sure that the families do not intervene between what both these individuals want to decide.
So police
for their
also had
life.
good intentions.
He also had a good intent, I would say.
Okay.
On the face of it, it looked like that, right? So, uske baad, she and I started meeting, and then the real practical things started coming out. So the first practical thing was that my family is saying that you should buy a property in my name, right? And I was like, okay, I've never thought about it, and I do not know why would this thing come into what we are trying to do now. But fine, I said, okay, let's do that, because I had to just make it work now, right? So and do whatever it takes from my side to make it work. So I did that, right? I did book a flat in the joint names. I did make
It was your family saying or her family saying?
her family saying.
Her family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not my family. So that was one of the conditions from her family.
To buy a property.
Yes.
The joint name.
Yes.
Not on her name
Not
solely.
actually on
Okay.
her name.
Her name. Okay. So you
But then
negotiated.
it could not happen that I can buy it in her name, because then you have to undergo the loan process and everything as well, right? So if she becomes the primary applicant in the loan, and well, I was very clear of the loan process as well, around that time. But anyway, so
But you did not sense it.
I
That
did
time?
not sense it. No.
Okay.
I think I was
Very
just going
strange.
with that intent that I have to make these things work.
Okay.
And if they are trying to say something that this is what we need as a security for our daughter, then I have to provide it.
Okay.
Right. So I did that. And then, she and I, we were like on and off meeting each other on, dinners, on lunches, sometimes on the weekends as well. I wasn't informing my family a lot about what's happening, because that thing was very clear in my mind that I do not want any further family interventions in my married life now. But then that was not the case with her, because she was staying with her parents. So obviously she could not do that, right? She could not be like just keeping things to herself and not talking about the things to her family. Plus,
But then if you would have told this to your family, they would have sensed this.
they would have sensed it. Yes,
Yeah.
I was completely blinded. And this is something which I realized much later. So that was one incident. And but then what happened? So since we were like meeting each other and talking to each other on and off, um, so there used to be some differences as well, right? So झगड़े भी हो रहे थे उस फेज के अंदर. So फिर बीच में एक ऐसा झगड़ा हुआ जिसके बाद मेरे को एक्चुअली लगा कि probably I should not have booked the flat, So we started the process of canceling the apartment, right?
You started, not we, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I started, but she was a joint owner, right?
Okay.
But then it just so happened that I'd given a request to the builder and they actually canceled the flat, So that happened. But then we were still trying to see if things can still be worked out. So eventually, the decision that we both made after about 6-7 months of these reconciliation meetings was that
Lapsed.
let's give it another chance,
Okay.
right? So तो पुलिस स्टेशन में ही सारा प्रोसेस चल रहा था, right? The inspector was closely involved. But then before the families could come together, one day before that, she had called me to the police station and she said that my family wants a written undertaking from you about me accepting that I have done everything wrong in this relationship.
Very ज़्यादा expect नहीं कर रही है ये.
बहुत ज़्यादा. And I had given that undertaking.
You have given.
I have given
Shit.
that undertaking. It was a 3-page long undertaking which she had gotten. Well, what she came with was, so she would have consulted a lawyer, right? So it was something which she came with as a printout with her, and I was made to sit in the police station on a stamp paper, 100 rupees or something. I was writing whatever she had in her hand as a printout. I was writing it down.
Shit. Were you blinded or what? Like,
I was totally blinded.
did you even?
I just had one intent, that I have to make this relationship work. So she put all sorts of conditions in that. She made me write that I have done violence against her, and I I'm feeling sorry about whatever I have done. Then write down the conditions around that.
This happened in front of police.
It happened in front of police, in the police station.
In the police
inspector
station.
was
You
sitting
basically
right where you are.
signed and stamped that you have done violence.
It was a death warrant. Yeah, I signed my death
Shit,
warrant.
man. फिर क्या
So I
हुआ?
had written all of that and while there were different conditions as well, that so I had gotten a job in Bangalore. So, and I was talking to her. I was telling her that, okay, let's move to a different city. Maybe that will help us, to start our life again. But then her condition was that I will go to Bangalore with you, but after 2 years you have to come back to Delhi. I said, fine, I'll try for it. I cannot promise you, but I'll try for it. Right? How can you promise something which is not in your control, right? So you may or may not get a job back in Delhi in 2 years, but yes, I will try for it. So these were some of the conditions which I had written in that, right? So that for 2 years we will be in Bangalore, and then I will try to get a job
My
back.
God, I mean, I'm thinking that how can someone be so practical in a very sensitive time? So manipulative and so sorted, a lot of clarity in life कि ये सारे points करवाने हैं, इसे लिख के लेना है, that too with the system.
Yes.
In front of the system.
Yeah.
And then how can also be so blinded and अपना death warrant तुमने sign करके दे दिया, कुछ नहीं सूझ रहा था.
Yeah.
You were so focused and committed to let the marriage work. कैसे भी करके उसको चलाना है काम.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
That was the only intent I had. And in that, there was another condition which was very similar to what I had done in the past. So you get me a 50 lakh apartment, make a down payment of 22 lakhs, and the remaining should be a loan. But in that property, she's going to be the major stakeholder. It is right there written.
And you signed it.
I've written it and then signed it.
You wrote yourself by
Yes.
yourself. Oh my
Yes.
God. Okay. This is मन तो कर रहा है अभी तुझे वो छोड़ो कैमरे के सामने. Okay. And then what happened?
So then we moved to Bangalore, and So I got a new job. She took a transfer in a couple of months. So we moved to Bangalore, and then um, about a month and a half later, she got pregnant, and then she said, "I want to abort." And I was like, "Why do you want to abort? I mean, we're trying to make things work now, right?" She said that I still haven't gotten a property. You still
What?
have, you still haven't given me a property,
She want to abort that kid because she,
because the apartment which was promised, I still hadn't booked that apartment in her name.
for that she wanted to kill her own baby.
Yeah. And I was like so scared. What I did, I immediately called up her family. And I told them not that she was demanding an apartment. I told them that you're going to be a nana and nani now. So I disclosed the good news to them. Just
But you
so
did not.
that she does not take that extreme step of aborting the child on her own.
So you just wanted to showcase yourself as a great husband that she would not get anywhere else. Like, I'm the one who can make you happy.
Not a great husband, I would say, but I was just trying to protect the child.
No, before that, in all scenarios, जो जितना ओवरडू किया है, जितना ओवर गिव किया है और जो ओवर कॉम्प्रोमाइज किया है,
Yeah.
what was the intention behind it? To say protect your marriage, right?
Yes, to protect the marriage and make it work.
Okay, but obviously that was being misused.
Yeah, so I know she was being unreasonable, but then you were just kind of going with the flow because आपके माइंड में ना हमेशा ये चीज़ रहती है कि कभी ना कभी थिंग्स सेटल हो जाएंगी.
ये बताओ, ये बच्चे वाली बात अबॉर्शन के बाद क्या मेंटल पर्सपेक्टिव कुछ चेंज हुआ तुम्हारा
I
इसको
was
लेकर के?
firstly shocked when she said that I want to abort the child because अभी तक अपार्टमेंट तुमने मेरे नाम पे नहीं करवाया. And then I took that step of calling up her family, telling them the good news that we are expecting a child now. So it's going to be a new addition in the family. So that she at least has that pressure that now her family knows, and her family probably will not support her decision of aborting the child.
हुआ क्या?
So she went ahead with the pregnancy, of course.
Okay, so वो
Yeah. So the
actually
child
this
was
thing
saved.
that
Yes, it
you
worked.
call,
Yeah.
okay, it worked.
Yeah.
Okay,
So she went
but
ahead
then
with the.
why did you want to have a kid with all these situations going on in life?
Okay, so there's a typical thing that happens in Indian families, right? So they always say that when you get married, you'll settle down, and when you have kid, सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा तुम्हारी लाइफ में. तो वो जो पुरानी प्रैक्टिसेस हैं, पुराने थॉट प्रोसेसेस हैं, द ट्रेडिशनल कन्वेंशनल थॉट प्रोसेसेस ऑफ हाउ द फैमिली शुड रन, सो दे वर देयर इन बोथ द फैमिलीज. तो addition of a newborn in the family brings new kind of joy, of course. Plus it helps strengthen the bond between the husband and wife as well,
ये सोच के किया था.
right?
The
Yeah.
same intention to save
Same
marriage,
intention,
protect
yes.
marriage. I
Yeah.
think obviously this is not correct.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Now
that,
when we
then,
now when I see
why do you want to bring a new soul in life when things are not?
when things are
उसके
not.
ऊपर भी क्यों डालना अपना
Yeah,
वजन?
absolutely.
अच्छा, एक बात बताओ सुखी, ये सब सारी जो प्रोसेस चल रहा था, तुमने उसको माफ़ कर दिया था क्या पुलिस स्टेशन वाली बात को लेकर, पुलिस वाली बात, कंप्लेंट्स वाली बात को लेकर के भूल गए थे? व्हाट वाज योर मेंटल एंगर और फ्रस्ट्रेशन अबाउट दैट कि मेरे को यार, it's a big deal in an Indian family to go to police station, to be criminalized by something which you haven't done,
Yeah.
by your own wife whom you love.
Yeah.
माफ़ किया था उसको?
Honestly, I did not think on those lines, कि उसको माफ करना है या नहीं करना है. I think my only intention was that things should settle down between both of us and we should make this marriage work, because it's a matter of the family reputation and izzat as well, right, in India. So if your children, as parents, if our children are having a troubled marriage, it's not something that the families are really proud of. And you try to hide this stuff, from the society. So it was the same typical thought process that you just have to make it work somehow, so
Got.
that people don't get that impression कि इनकी family के अंदर तो ये dispute चल रहा है.
How many cases she filed on you?
So, so after the childbirth, we separated again. The child was just about 6 months and he was taken away. And then after about 6 months of her taking away the child, she filed a police complaint of dowry harassment. And then she also filed a domestic violence case in the court in Delhi. I was in Bangalore. So these two cases to begin with. And 5 years later, she filed a divorce as well.
ओके, सो ये 2 केसेस डाल दिया, उसके सुनवाई शुरू हो गई होगी कोर्ट
Yeah,
में।
So the process started. So the dowry harassment complaint goes to the CAW cell. The CAW cell people, they are given instructions to mediate and try to reconcile or settle it before the matter reaches the court. So
Okay.
that process took about 6 months. But the other case, the domestic violence case that she had filed, that was purely with an intent to get the maintenance, because there is a provision of getting the maintenance in that case.
How much she asked?
Well, she asked for in excess of 1 lakh.
1 lakh per month.
Yeah, per
How many years back?
This was 2014.
2014 में, आज
Yeah.
से 12 साल पहले 1 लाख पर महीने, इतना
Yeah.
मेंटेनेंस चाहिए उसको?
Yeah.
किस बात के लिए भाई?
I could not understand that.
ओ, बट अच्छा, इसकी सुनवाई में जज ने क्या
See,
बोला?
when they demand the maintenance, they don't look at their requirement. They look at the potential of the person. And they try to exploit that potential, of course.
So आपने दिया?
Plus the general notion that if you demand 100%, you will get 20%, 30%,
Okay.
50%, whatever.
बच्चे का भी होगा ना उसमें?
So kid was there as well, right? So that made her case stronger as well.
So you started giving maintenance.
Yeah, so the maintenance was filed. It was fixed by the court in 6 months.
How much was it?
It was 40,000 a month. And so she demanded in excess of 1 lakh. But
Was she
the court
earning?
demanded. She was working. She never had resigned from her previous job that I knew of, because her email ID and everything was still working, right? So while she was, I think, 6 or 7 months into her pregnancy, that's when she said that she had resigned, but there was no official resignation.
So let's assume that she's working. कोर्ट इसका वो नहीं करता, इंक्वायरी नहीं करता?
So they did not say in the court that she was earning.
Okay.
She was hiding her employment.
No, but you would have claimed, right?
I had claimed, of course. But then,
उसका कुछ
see, when your interim maintenance is decided in the DV case, like the domestic violence case, they just look at the prima facie facts, and a prima facie relief has to go to the other party, which means that, okay, so there is a wife and a child, they need immediate relief, and that is your interim maintenance. So you don't really go into the merits of the case at that stage. There is an initial argument between the lawyers, and then looking at the status of the parties, the earning potential, so many other factors as well. Probably there is some sort of template as well, which the judges might be using to calculate the amount. That's how they fix the maintenance.
Okay, so you started giving 40,000. You
Yeah.
started fighting the case.
But then I did challenge that order.
Okay.
Right? Because, see, if you technically look at the Domestic Violence Act, a person is entitled for relief only if they have gone through the domestic violence, right? So if the domestic violence has actually happened against you, only then you are entitled for a relief. And from my side, it was never that thing, right? So I had challenged that order of 40,000 in the Sessions Court first. The appeal got dismissed. Then I challenged it in the High Court, right? So it was in the month of January 2015 when the maintenance was fixed. I filed the appeal after a couple of months in the Sessions Court. A couple of months later, that appeal got dismissed. Then I approached the High Court in 2015 itself. Now, the High Court verdict took 2 years to come. But then during this phase, the regular case, which was there in the trial court, that was running as usual, right? Or I shouldn't call it running as usual. It was more like, there were delays from her side, because after your interim maintenance is fixed, then the complainant, they have to file their evidence and they have to lead the evidence. So they did not lead the evidence for full 2 years till 2017. And that was like, you're just delaying the matter, because now that you have the maintenance fixed from the court, you'll just keep getting the maintenance, and you just keep frustrating the other party by not letting the case move ahead.
So okay, so you kept giving on maintenance, 40,000 per month.
Yeah.
um, what was the mood of the, like, not wouldn't say mood, so सिस्टम का जो आप कितना सपोर्ट मिला आपको जब आप कोर्ट जाते थे या पुलिस स्टेशन हो गया, ओवरऑल आई एम सेइंग कि डिड यू सेंस दैट इट इज अगेंस्ट मेन
Absolutely. Absolutely.
डिजाइन्ड दैट वे?
The system is designed in a manner to extract, the money out of the man. Be it your police, be it your lawyers, be it your your entire system. That is a given fact, right?
सो ओके, आप अभी आपका स्टेटस क्या है केस का चल रहा है अब?
Yeah, so I was really, really adamant to fight this case through, because I knew that I haven't done anything wrong. Whatever allegations have been put on me, they were absolutely false. I have fought this battle for 11 years.
11 years?
Yeah,
Which case you're talking about?
the domestic violence
Domestic
case.
violence.
Yeah. So I fought that
Oh.
case from 2014 till 2025. And 2025 is when I got my final judgment. And it was a 96-page judgment by the trial court. It had different parts in the judgment, and I would say it was a very rational decision which was given in this matter, because I have really put my everything in fighting this case out to basically prove my innocence. So these 11 years, there was a lot of harassment by the system, right? A lot of tactics being played by the other party, the dilatory tactics, basically to delay the matter, to frustrate the other party.
What was the intention? उनको क्या मिलेगा?
So if I get frustrated, then what will I do? I'll go for a settlement, right? They'll get the money and they'll come out of it,
Okay.
right? So the money has always been the intent here.
So
To
from
get
day
as much
one,
money
for
as
everything,
possible.
all the troubles,
Yeah.
money is the prime factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the sole intent which was
But
driving everything.
so because you are earning well, so money can be the prime intent. Then why एक गरीब आदमी के ऊपर भी ये सब चीज़ें क्यों होती है? जब वो कमा भी नहीं रहा होता है, उसके पास पैसे भी नहीं होते हैं, उससे क्या ही निकलवा लेगा, फिर भी उसको तंग करते हैं.
Eventual aim of the is to settle the matter, right? How would you settle the matter? By pressurizing one of the parties. Now they cannot pressurize the woman, because the law is created to protect her or to favor her. So who else is left to get pressurized? It's the man. The system will pressurize the man to settle it.
Okay.
So whether you are earning well or not doesn't matter.
You'll get the pressure.
You'll get the pressure, and the more pressure they put on you, the more likelihood of you breaking and just coming out of it. That is how the dynamics
कोर्ट में
is.
केसेस कम होंगे,
Court में
तो
cases
प्रेशराइज
कम
करो,
होंगे.
सेटल करो, बात खत्म करो.
Oh yeah.
ओके.
If you look at the way the divorce cases are being dealt in the family courts these days, at least in my case, what I've seen is, so it was filed in 2019. Apparently, my wife was actually waiting for me to file the divorce case, because that's what typically your laws tell you. So she's filed a 498A case against you, the police complaint of dowry harassment, and then she's filed a domestic violence case against you. You should file a divorce case. That's what your laws tell you, right? But then I did not do that, and thankfully I did not do that because I got in touch with SIFF, which is one of the NGOs working in the field of men's rights. So, the initial 2 years when I was just exposed to the judicial system and on all the legal system, there was a lot of guidance that was given by this organization, which really helped me strategize how do I need to fight this case out. So all this technical strategic inputs were coming from this NGO, or they were being discussed in the NGO, and then you decide for yourself what you need to do, of course. But then to what level do you have to go is an individual's choice. So you could still probably use that strategy to reduce the impact that you may get. But then whether you want to go all the way or not is still your decision.
So you went all the way.
I went all the way, yeah.
13 years, how many years you said?
11 years.
11 years you fought.
Yeah.
And अभी जजमेंट क्या आया है?
So, so as I said, it was a very rational judgment, right? And it was a 96-page judgment in which the all the allegations which were leveled on me, they were refuted by the court point by point.
सब
Okay,
कुछ
sab
गलत था.
kuch, yeah,
All allegations were false.
yes, point by point, because I had fought my case that way, So she
Was that a
had
high court judgment या
no, it was a trial court
trial
judgment.
court
That's
judgment?
where your case is decided basis the merits. So high
Okay.
courts and sessions courts are all appellate courts. So where most of your contention or your cases are on the question of law rather than on merits.
Merits. Okay.
Right. So so every allegation that was leveled against me, I had given evidences of how those allegations were false. From her side, these were all verbal statements. From my side, these were submissions with an evidence, right? And then eventually, the judge pronounced the
In your
the
favor.
verdict, saying that there is absolutely no conclusive proof that any sort of harassment has taken place. The relief which has been given to the other party does not hold, of course, because the basic premise is that if somebody has has gone through a
Falsely
domestic
accused.
violence,
Yeah.
then only they are entitled
Yeah.
for a
Or
relief.
if somebody is falsely accused, he shouldn't be
He should
paying.
not be penalized. Yes. So,
Um,
so the
okay.
court.
One
Yeah.
second. I have a question here. So did you keep on paying until your judgment come
Yes, I was
for
paying
11 years?
for 11 years. Yeah. I mean, not very
Oh.
regular though, but then
Which you're
towards
not supposed to pay.
which you're not supposed to pay. Yes.
Do you have any calculation of the amount?
44 lakhs.
44 lakhs.
Yeah.
You paid for something
It's
which you
there.
haven't
It's
done.
written in the judgment as well.
Okay, so let me summarize this for everybody. If Sukhi has not done anything, if he's falsely accused, you're not supposed to pay as per law.
Yeah.
But you paid 44 lakhs.
Yeah.
Will you get it back?
I will not get it back because the verdict beautifully covered that aspect as well. Right? So probably have to maintain that balance as well. So the verdict also said that fine, there was a matrimonial discord between the two parties, but the child should not suffer because of that.
There was a child
So whatever
involvement.
money
Yeah.
has gone so far, it will be termed as, or it will be considered as a payout for the child. So that payout is over now, and I was, taken out from any sort of future liability to pay anything, either to my wife or to my child.
But then, is there any provision that she falsely accused you? How 11 years you gave your time, your money, your mental peace.
Yeah.
What about her now?
Well, she's going for more money. So she's gone and filed appeals against that judgment. The divorce case was filed basis the cruelty and desertion. So that got dismissed as well. So she did not get any relief from the court in that case as well. So she's filed a appeal against the divorce case in the High Court and against the domestic violence verdict where the maintenance was stopped. So against that, she has filed an appeal in the Sessions Court.
भाई उसकी भूख खत्म ही नहीं हो रही है भाई.
It's just the money that she wants.
40,000 per month. She must be earning much more than this. And
I don't know. I mean, she's hiding her employment status from the court.
so, what about the kid? Are you meeting him or her? Is it a girl or boy?
It's a boy, right? So 2014, when she filed the case, I did apply for the visitation rights. I think my case started in the month of June 2014. I filed for the visitation rights in the month of November, but then that application was firstly opposed by the other party. And then, it was like never pursued by the court as such. And then, well, there was something more which happened in between. So when she separated and she took the child away, I was missing my child too much. So I started sending some gifts to him through Flipkart. So I sent a couple of times. I did get a notification back that those gifts were undelivered. Fine. So I did it the first time. The gifts were returned. When I did it the second time, after a few days, I got a call from another saying that there's a complaint filed against you, that you could send explosives to your child, or you could make an attempt to kidnap your child.
What?
Yeah,
अरे भाई ये तो कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं हो रहा है?
बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है.
एक्सप्लोसिव कौन भेजेगा यार?
फ्लिपकार्ट के थ्रू.
फ्लिपकार्ट के थ्रू?
Yeah.
Okay, this is
Right. So that basically her intent was not to have any sort of connection with the child. Right. And that is your weakest point, right?
the same
You're a
child she
parent.
wanted to abort.
Yes, the same child she wanted to abort. Yeah.
अचानक से प्यार आ गया,
प्यार आ गया बोल लो या
माँ
फिर
जाग गई.
I think the key.
Yes.
Okay, now if you try to understand the key intent here, so it was to hit me on the weakest spot, which is your child.
Emotions.
So the child has been taken away. You're not meeting the child, but you're of course missing the child. You're trying to send the gift to the child. And what she's doing, she's filing a complaint so that I'm not even able to even send the gifts, let alone, meeting the child or getting the visitation rights. So with that, I think I got this particular impression that if I start pursuing the visitations, there would be more arm twisting that I will have to go through. There might be certain more complaints or cases that she might file. And I was managing these cases from Bangalore. So I was traveling all the way from Bangalore to Delhi for these court hearings. So I did not want it to increase any further litigation for me. So although you were like really missing your child, first child, of course, a child whose life you have saved, but then just to save yourself from further trouble and to save the child as well from getting into the legal mess. So I consciously probably did not pursue it a lot.
So are you not seeing your child now?
No,
In any ways, you're disconnected with him mentally as well, emotionally
totally
as well.
disconnected. Yeah, it's a long time now. I think he's 13 years now.
You never feel like meeting your kid?
It's a difficult one, Rahul. Just don't know what is the right thing and the wrong thing.
Is it even possible for a father?
Go back and meet the child after so long? I
No,
think
to
what
not
I'm more scared about is how will the child see me, because there would be a certain impression that he would be carrying about me. And somehow I believe that it's not going to be a good impression that he's carrying about me. So it's basically like you've been through a legal mess of so many years. You have deliberately tried to do all the right things for your child, right from saving his life till probably taking a conscious call that you don't want to drag him into the legal mess. But your right intent was never appreciated by the other party, and probably the child has been brought up in a completely different way.
the upbringing is against you.
Yeah, there's a term called negative tutoring that might be at play for all I know. So if you go to the child and you try to meet them, you just don't know what to expect.
But do you feel like going to him?
I am scared, actually. I'm really scared. I'm just not sure. And well, I'm talking about the NGO, right? So there have been certain instances where fathers have been called as uncles by their own children, and there have been complaints similar to the complaint that she had filed against me, against those fathers as well, that the father is trying to influence the child in a negative way. He's trying to, uh, change his mindset to hate the wife and the wife's family. So those kind of allegations become very common.
I think it's more hurtful for the father.
Absolutely.
It's more hurtful actually.
So on the face of it, you might say that, as a wife, I'm quite open for my child to meet his biological father. I don't have any issues with that. But what probably you might have done so far is that you have damaged that relationship completely by bringing up the child with a very negative impression of their father.
But are you assuming things?
Maybe I am. I don't deny that.
Maybe you
And
should take
that's
a
why I'm
chance.
not sure.
Maybe you should take a chance.
Yeah, that's a tough one, Maybe I should.
Maybe it could backfire and it could traumatize you more. That's why you're scared. But maybe things can go well because he's now 13 years. He's matured enough to gradually make him understand if you want to pursue that over
Yeah.
that thing.
Well, I think, yeah, so I hear you when you say he's 13 years, but the children mind, even at that age, is very fragile. So it's not that they have become really matured about things. So you don't know what kind of thought process has he grown up with regarding his father. Plus, the other angle here is that the litigations still haven't stopped, right? Litigations are still continuing, just continuing at the next level now. Now, if somebody is really after money, they probably can go to any
Any
limits
limit, yeah.
to get something against you, which is going to help you to get more money.
10 more cases can be filed on you.
Yeah.
How long will you fight this?
I don't know. I think when the verdict came in 2025, I think for 5 minutes I just closed my eyes and I was like, these 11 years that I had given proving my innocence, they were not waste. So I've really kind of put myself all in proving my innocence. And that is something which has been acknowledged by the system finally. It has put me through all kind of mess, all kind of tough times, a lot of negative emotions that you have gone through, a lot of helplessness that you have gone through, a lot of emotional pain that you have gone through. But you have still fought it. And eventually, when the decision came in your favor, you did feel that, okay, it was worth it. And that's a very important lesson in life. You should be able to take a stand for yourself. Now, that verdict has come out, which has probably healed me a lot, I would say, honestly. So, if that verdict has healed you, it's not that it's the end of the pain for you, because the process can continue and it can go endless.
Are you ready
Because
for
you
it?
have multiple levels, right? So, you next go to the Sessions Court, then you go to High Court, you go to the Supreme Court as well. There is no end to it.
Are you not tired?
No, I think my thing is that I'm not able to decide on that, but I'm certainly not tired. I think all these years when these litigations were happening and I was being put through very testing times, my resolve just became stronger and stronger somehow. It has changed me as a person. You are a very different person now than what you were probably before the litigation started.
What's the difference?
You have become very, very strong mentally. Your mental strength has changed tremendously. So you are now in a state that you can take any sort of difficult situation in life, any sort of mess in life, you'll be able to handle it, given that kind of confidence to you.
The reason life is going to be much better when there is no mess, like least mess.
Yes, everybody wants that least mess, sorted life, but then life in reality is not like that, right? It is full of problems. So you will keep facing these problems all the time. These problems could be, emotional in nature, they could be financial in nature, they could be physical in nature. What eventually works is your mental strength.
Okay, I want to wrap it up now. Um, what would you suggest to men who are going through these things? Would you suggest them to keep fighting for your cases, for the cases that they are fighting? Or would you suggest that, okay, there's a balanced way also? If you can settle it down, settle it down. What's your suggestion? What's your take on this now, after fought so many years?
Well, I think the kind of kind of ordeal, if I may call it, that I've been through, I don't recommend it to anyone. I just tell everyone that you should try to get out of it because it will take a toll on your mental peace.
You've given
Right.
44 lakhs, and I'm sure lakhs and lakhs on lawyers and travel and court cases.
Yeah.
Maybe a CR or something.
Not so much actually. So because you get a little smarter as well when you are in this, working with the system. So you know how much do you have to pay to the
So let's
lawyers.
say 50 lakhs पकड़ लेते हैं अभी के लिए, ठीक
Yeah,
है?
probably about 50.
So
Yeah.
if you can settle the case paying somebody 50 lakhs and shut it off,
Yeah.
do you think is it a good deal?
Well, it depends on the proportion of money that you're willing to give against what you're earning right now.
If somebody can afford it,
If they can afford it, yes. If it's a reasonable deal, please take it.
don't
Right?
go
Because the
to the...
system is designed in a manner that it will break you.
And not everybody is sukhi. Yeah, I'm so proud of you. I'm really so proud of you. इतना डिटेल में मुझे स्टोरी नहीं पता था. But after this podcast, I really feel proud of you. It takes a lot to become sukhi. वो जो आप इतने साल केस लड़े हो यार, 11 साल. You've given all your life.
Yeah.
So thank you for talking to me. Thank you for sharing your story. And I wish you all the best. I wish peace of mind for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.